welcome to Talk This.
It's dangerous to podcast alone.
I'm your why don't we just remake Yakuza 5 in different locations over and over and over and over again, host Madelyn.
I'm your puzzle fusioned host Emma.
And thanks for tuning in to this week's show. It's Save Data, 6 weeks in gaming, here at Talk This. Can you believe it? I can't. How many of these have I started out with that exact phrase?
Probably all of them.
Almost all of them.
Yeah, the last one came out on June 1st.
Which doesn't feel like it should be 6 weeks ago.
But it was.
Anyway, here we are, mid-July, and we've been playing some games. I've mostly been playing the same games.
That's okay.
To be honest, but that's okay. Emma, I think you have a little more than me, so why don't you start?
Well, we can start with our usual Reverie report.
Oi. Why did I have you start? Go on.
I did not get a chance to play very much Reverie this next 6 weeks, there is no, like, big games coming out. Like, big in terms of, like, length, in terms of, like, I'm going to play them on my PS5 type
Summer
games.
lull.
So I will really have time to dedicate to Reverie. But I did finish Reen's Act 3. I had finished the other two characters' Act 3 last time. So Reen still had a chunk left of his Act 3. He was over in the Nord Highlands investigating strange goings-on in there.
As one does in the Nord Highlands.
Yes, and somewhat predictably uncovered another, like, military conspiracy to restart the war, right? That ended in Cold Steel 4. And they put a stop to it. Sort of. They put a stop to it, but it's like they feel like they've still played sort of into, like, the greater plan going on a little bit.
I see.
There was also a very, like, last moment, like, they were trying to blow up the nomadic settlement, essentially. Was sort of like there was a distraction going on, and then they were firing a big old railway gun right at where the nomads in the Nord Highlands live. So, but Reen tapped into his strange powers and called a knight of some sort to come and
with a K?
Slash the mortar in two.
Okay, that sounds like with a K.
Yes, with a K. You may remember from Cold Steel that he had the Divine Knight, Valimar, who went away at the end of Cold Steel 4, but seems to be back in a different form. He sort of appeared and then disappeared, and there were some strange sort of flashings on the screen that make me think that they're actually incorporating the bad ending of Cold Steel 4, which you're required to get before you get the real ending of Cold Steel 4. Which is interesting, and I think could be interesting for Reen's arc, because the bad ending of Cold Steel 4 is essentially like Reen, Crow, and Milliam, who are essentially the three characters with the worst martyr complexes, like, just fully indulge in their martyr complexes and sort of send themselves into space to save the rest of the world.
Sick.
Right? And so there's some things going on where I'm like, something funky's going on there.
Some space shenanigans.
There's some space shenanigans going on there. And I think that, like, confronting the version of himself that, like, gave in to one of his greatest flaws will really put a pin, I hope, finally, in this, like, ongoing character flaw for Reen that he's had of, like, I have to sacrifice myself at all possible opportunities, essentially. And I think that could be interesting. Anyway, we're into Act 4, back in C's route. We'll see what will happen.
We'll see.
We'll see, indeed. A very good bit at the beginning of this, where at the end of Act 3, there's, like, this dramatic scene where C is like, Lapis, I know which one you are, right? Like, so there's a bunch of her, right? And he manages to find the real one. And Lapis is like, it's because we share a deep connection, right? Like, he was able to identify me. And at the beginning of this, he's like to someone else, yeah, I put a tracker on her. a while ago.
Nice.
It's like, wow.
Deep connection
You
indeed.
took the emotion out of that story. It was very good. So I'm excited to be back there. Excited to keep going with Reverie. Genuinely, I am enjoying this game quite a bit more than Cold Steel 4. So, having a good time.
Well, I think it's my duty to report because everyone I know who's a real person who listens to this podcast has been like, have you figured out how to hook up a controller to your phone? For like weeks, for months. And I'm like, no, I haven't. I'm a loser. I don't know how to do that. But guess what? It's really easy to hook up a controller to your phone.
Yeah.
It actually doesn't take any effort at all. You just hold the button and you Bluetooth.
Yeah.
So guess what? Katamari Damacy Rolling Live is a 10 out of 10 game.
There you go.
It's so much better with a controller. I can't emphasize enough how much easier it is to roll up stuff and get big on phone when you're doing it with a controller. My scores have gotten so much better. I am having a much better time. My hands hurt so much less. Just so much better. It's unfortunately the killer app for Apple Arcade for me. Because it's just the kind of thing, it's like, I probably want to like finish this. So I have to keep paying. Although I realized, because I was like, why is it prompting me now? Like, what happened to my payment method? I got some like notifications from Apple that are like, oh, your payment method is like, you need to have a payment method. I was like, how have I been paying for Apple Arcade, the best deal in gaming, for these past few months? It's been eating my iTunes money from like 2014.
Good use of it.
I know. So I was like, because I literally like, I noticed it for the first time. I don't know, maybe I was looking at something for Apple Arcade or who knows. I noticed it a few months ago. I was like, oh, I've got like $20 or whatever. Not that I'm ever going to use that for anything again. And then I did.
So if you too have long abandoned iTunes money,
consider
it really
Apple
is
Arcade
the best deal in gaming.
But just so many good things. It's got a new sumo level, which is the best Katamari level.
Mm-hmm.
It's not sumo. He's like a he's not. But he's like a mukbang streamer, basically.
Sure.
Or something. There's I don't know if I talked about this last time. There's like a cleaning level, which I think is a fun use of the Katamari. There's one called, quote, how to catch tons of crabs. There's one where you're rolling up people because you're running for mayor. Oh, I didn't include the Cuomo game in my list of games.
Throw it in here. Good transition.
I played, what is this even called? Like some kind of game for change, browser game that's like, don't rank
it was
Cuomo.
On itch.io.
Yeah, where just a bunch of like not clicking on Cuomo in different capacities. And I didn't think I was going to get through it. I thought there was one where the names were cycling so fast that I just simply wouldn't be able to do it, but I did. And so did the city.
And so did the city. You saved the world.
I did. If only we could all be rolled up into a happy Katamari and popped into the sky, then we could really save the world.
True.
Anyway, very, very good. Very good. Really, the levels are up there with some of the best Katamari levels. I know what you're thinking, listener. Oh, can't you cast it onto the TV? I haven't tried to figure that out. I'm not going to try to figure that out. It doesn't bother me that it's on my phone. My phone still feels like it's the size of a mountain. And it's basically the size of the TV that I had 2 apartments ago. So I'm not going to try to cast it and see if it'll ultimately be blocky and blurry anyway. I'm just happy playing on my little controller, on my little phone. Thank goodness. We love Katamari indeed. That's not what this one is called, but don't worry about it. Your turn.
That's beautiful. Well, there was another Steam Next Fest this 6 weeks, which honestly getting to a point where it's like more and more diminishing returns. I feel like.
Yeah.
For me, as someone like browsing it and playing it, and seemingly for developers on it too, just because more and more people are using it, including like, you know, big companies, which is not really like the initial intention of Next Fest, but has become that when they have like a side project that could be mistaken for indie, they'll put it on Next Fest. So, you know, it's a good reminder to be like, oh, I can check out some demos if there are games I'm interested in. But it's getting harder to use it as like a discovery tool, I think. But I did play some interesting games. I tried out the demo for Battlesuit Aces, which I think last year I played Battle Chef Brigade
Oh,
off
that
my
sounds
backlog.
familiar.
This is the same developers, but it's like a deck building mech fight game.
Cool.
Um, I really like it. The voice acting, unfortunately, is pretty stiff in a manner that is kind of like I would turn it off if I played it, probably.
Oof.
It's not like actively bad. It's just kind of distractingly flat. Like, if it was actively bad, I might mind it less than. It just feels like maybe it is. I don't know. It feels like it's placeholder audio in some
Well,
ways.
fingers crossed.
But fun time, seems interesting. I played the demo for Dispatch. One of the bigger games, kind of sneaking. One of the games with a bigger budget, at least sneaking in there. Which is about you're playing like a manager for super villains turned like super
Yeah. This is the
heroes.
Aaron Paul game, right?
Yes. it's the
Yeah,
Aaron
my
Paul
friend
game.
works on this one.
Yeah.
Disclosure, I didn't play it, but
yeah, I don't know your friends,
Yeah.
so it's fine. That one was fun. It has some Telltale style choice elements, but I actually really enjoyed the like gameplay where you have to like send your team on appropriate missions to their skill set. And so the better you can match their skill set with like what the task actually needs, the more likely they are to be successful. And sometimes they'll just leave without your say-so and go start a fire somewhere also.
Nice.
Sort of keep you on your toes. We talked about this on my side quest. I played a demo for a game called Downhill, which I thought was fun, where you're kind of like the player guiding this character to do certain things, and you can have choices on how you interact with things and whether she likes you very much or not, right? I played Is This Seat Taken? Which you were in AP US history too. You did the like seating exercise where
make
you have
sure
to
Andrew Jackson doesn't kill anybody.
Yeah,
seating chart
where you
game.
have to seat a bunch of people who hate each other.
Yeah.
In the hopes that no one will kill each other. It's like that, but with a little less murder. Like you get a bunch of little guys and you have to try to seat them in a space so that everybody's happy with where they're sitting.
That's cute.
Right? Like some of them are kind of stinky.
It's a wedding planning simulator, right?
Yeah, kind of. Some of them are like stinky. Some people can't handle strong scents. You have to keep them away from each other.
There's stinky.
Parents and children that you have to keep together. There's one in like a movie theater where someone was like, I want to steal popcorn.
Cool.
Right? So you have to put them next to somebody who has a popcorn bucket. That sort of thing. So that was a fun little like puzzle game. And then I played the demo for Unbeatable, which has been on my radar for a while, which is like a rhythm adventure game, essentially, where music is illegal and you do crimes, is like the tagline. You start like an illegal band, essentially. Those were I played a few more, but those were probably the ones where I was like, those are the highlights. Those are the things that I will probably get around to when they're out. I'll also just throw Luminous in here. I played some Luminous because we talked about it on the show. I've played a little more since then. I've gotten a few levels deeper, like to level like 30, maybe. It is sort of a scary game, in that it's very intense. You cannot think about anything but Luminous while you're playing it. And play sessions can like my level 31 took me like almost 30 minutes. And like it just ate that time. Like I was not aware of that time passing whatsoever. It just sort of like vanished into the ether.
Do you feel like you understand what going to a rave is like?
Maybe. Or like maybe this is what meditation is for people who can meditate, who is not me. I tried meditation once when I went to Spain in college, and I had to do like a lap around the building afterwards because I was so antsy.
Emma's brain is going.
But Luminous, because they're so, it's like fills up your brain, right? You're not emptying your brain. You're simply
Yeah.
filling it with Luminous.
Well, do you want to talk about To a T? So we both played it?
Yeah, you finished it too, right?
I did.
Yeah.
Butts, 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 butts.
Butts indeed.
So To a T, if you don't remember, is from, again, it's from the guy who makes Katamari. Not this Katamari, but who invented Katamari.
Yes.
Which I think is an appropriate way to describe that game. Keiha Takahashi, right? So it's, you're a boy, you're stuck in a T shape, you've always been stuck in a T shape, you don't know why. You do kind of find out.
You're a kid.
Oh, sorry, you're right. Mine was a boy.
Yeah.
But yes, you're a kid of gender identity that you are welcome to determine and explore on your own.
Yeah.
And yeah, you're stuck in a T shape. You've always been stuck in a T shape. You don't know why. We find out why sort of over the course of the game. And you got a dog who helps you out. You've got a mom who's kind of worried about you. And you've got bullies who might be your friends. And some stuff happens.
Yeah. I don't know if I said this I think I must have said this last time, but it really does like kind of authentically feel like a children's television show.
Genuinely.
In ways that I feel like even games that like are for kids nominally don't really approach in the same way.
Yeah. No, it's big, like sort of smart children's television show. Not smarmy, right?
Yeah.
Like,
I mean, they directly talk to you in it in the way
Yeah.
that like Dora does.
right.
Right. Like they're prompting a response. Not in that way where they're like quizzing you like Dora does a little bit, but
Yeah.
where they're like prompting your response
Yeah.
on
Big
things.
Blue's
and then-
Clues energy. I didn't even think about
Yeah.
that.
Yeah,
The
yeah.
parallels with the dog.
Yeah, definitely very Blue's Clues.
No, I found it delightful, but it's also literally for that reason. I feel like who can I recommend this game to?
Yeah.
It's not a children's game, but it's sort of is.
It feels very much like a parent and child game. In a way.
I guess, except it's so. Okay, some spoilers here.
Sure.
Losing your dog is horrible. Like, that's a horrible chapter. The theme song, so as we probably talked about, I'm sure we talked about 6 weeks ago, it's the highlight of the game. Each of the 8 chapters opens like a children's television show with a banging theme song and closes with a banging outro. Same one each time, which I thought was like so lovely, like such a lovely little thematic touch. But in the chapter one thing I liked a lot about this game is I had a lot of fear at chapter 4 that it was about to turn into like a weird pseudo open world situation, because they kind of introduced that possibility to you. And thank God it didn't. It actually gets really linear at the end, like the last 3.5 chapters, maybe even 4 chapters. And I appreciated that. I really did. I was like, oh, thank goodness. I don't want to have to run around and buy shirts. I bought a couple shirts. That's enough.
I put together some banging outfits for my kid.
Yeah, we look great.
I got a pink Gawker on.
I bought everything for Wallagus, my dog.
Where can you buy things for Wallagus?
Oh, you could buy hats for Wallagus.
I didn't see those anywhere.
I got a little Katamari one.
Dang.
Yeah, little Principal Cosmos. Anyway, where was I going with that? Yes, I was relieved that the pseudo open world. Oh, yes. So you play as something I liked a lot about the back half of this game is that this is not a game that is very complex in its mechanics, right?
No.
You run around, there's some story beats. Every once in a while you jump in the air, right?
You spin and you can jump really high in the air eventually.
Exactly. But there are little mini games every once in a while. That's it. And I think this game was really smart about being like, okay, actually 8 chapters of this would be boring. So you start to mostly play as other characters or in other situations throughout the second half of the game. You play as the dog. You jump back in time to your mom's punk days, which was really fun. You go to a faraway universe where everybody's a rectangle.
Yeah.
Like, a lot of weird stuff. And, like, that kept it kind of, like, fresh, which was nice. And I appreciated that linearity there at the end, that we didn't go like, oh, it's so open. It's like, no, actually, we're doing something different. But for kids, bad. Because you play as the dog for a chapter, and then the dog goes missing. And that dog is your whole life. Like, the dog lets you pee, you know?
Sure.
Washes off your eye gunk every day.
Yeah.
And the theme song where Wallagus wasn't there
Yeah.
was like maybe top 5 saddest video game moments I've ever experienced. McFella just like running around being like, Wallagus, Wallagus, through all the same like theme song stuff was, I shed a tear.
Yeah.
And then Wallagus turning up and being able to talk for like unbelievable
Drinking an
arc.
espresso.
Yeah, I know. Just incredible.
But yeah, I had it did not feel like the target audience was me exactly, but
I
still
can't
had
figure out
fun
who the
with
target
it.
audience is. That's the problem.
Well, I really do feel like it'd be fine for parents and kids. I feel
It's
like
the
you're
same-
ascribing a lower level of emotional maturity than kids actually have.
You're right. I just feel like this and Wadum, his previous game, both were like weirdly sort of children targeted, but like not. It's weird. It's hard to pin down. Obviously, people are gonna keep giving him money to make games because he's a weirdo and he gives weird interviews and like.
Well, he designed a lot of playgrounds too, which I feel like does give me like he makes games for kids to play with supervision.
Right.
Kind of is what it feels like how you would have your kid play on a playground,
Right.
essentially.
That's an interesting way of thinking about it.
But anyway, I'll be happy if he keeps making whatever the hell he wants to make. So I know you want more Katamari from him.
I just want them to chain him to a desk and make more Katamari.
No, you don't.
I kind of do.
That's against the ethos of Katamari.
You're right, but I just want him to make something that feels like that. It doesn't have to be Katamari, but I liked to it. I didn't love Wadum. I thought Wadum was fine. I liked to a T much better than I liked that.
Mm-hmm.
But it's still like, I don't know. I'm a numbers go up kind of girl. I'm a ball get bigger kind of girl.
Don't say that. I mean, we can do the other one that we share, although we're at very different points in it.
Claire Obscure?
Yeah.
Yeah, I barely started it.
Have you played any more since you've gone back? Or
no,
was it
this week has been nuts.
Yeah.
I have done so much work this week that I have not even installed it on my PlayStation.
Yeah.
But I've thought a lot about life ending at 33 or whatever.
Yeah.
It's very targeted. I liked the first 2 hours or whatever, Claire Obscure, but you should talk about it more.
Well, I finished it. I think it was in somewhere in Act 2 when I talked about it last on the show. Keeping it spoiler light for Madelyn as she continues playing it.
I can take my headphones out at any point if you want to talk about secrets.
I'll be very curious to hear what you think about it too if you end up playing it through.
I am gonna play it through. It's gonna be I finished some games. It's time to start some new ones.
Yeah. So last time I did talk like you don't really have to be great at parrying, and I do think that holds for the main story. But once you start getting to the side bosses, like, oh boy, you better be good at parrying.
Yikes for me.
So
I'm already bad at parrying.
Put that correction in there. Yeah, I think I said last time I felt like I had a lot of small problems that wasn't necessarily like souring my view of the game. I think that Act 3 introduced something that wasn't inherently a problem for me, but it didn't give it enough space to breathe. The way Act 3 works is essentially you can just sort of go to the final boss whenever you want. You can roam around the world map. There are some companion like side stories you can do, which I did do. I didn't do any of the other side content. But it's like, okay, so you've got this recontextualization, now go finish the game whenever you want, essentially.
Yeah.
And it really felt like there's this big thing introduced with the shift from Act 2 to Act 3 that really feels like we should have worked through it a little bit.
Okay.
And because they don't, it sort of robs the ending of whatever impact they wanted it to have for me, I think. Because there are 2 endings you can get in this game. There's just a final choice for which ending you want. And neither side, like we talked about when we talked about this thing that they wanted there to be like moral complexity to things, but they were morally complex in ways that I didn't find terribly like emotional, maybe. I think I just had sort of checked out of it by the end because of some of the things they had introduced and the ways they hadn't really addressed it very well.
You're selling me.
So what?
You're
I'm
selling
selling
me
you
on it.
So I still think it's a very solid game. I feel like you can feel their enthusiasm in it. I feel like I can see what they were going for, and I can see the ways in which this would work for someone else.
Someone dumb. That's what Emma's saying.
No,
I'm
not.
just kidding. That was a joke.
I think there's some things that would hit harder if this is like your first game, like real first story you've read that's like really delved into some of these themes, which is totally possible, right? But I feel like a lot of the major themes, I have things that address those topics in ways that I found more emotionally resonant. So with like comparison points that shine on it unfavorably, it also felt like it got a little shallower for me. But like I said, still an enjoyable experience. Still one that was clearly very well made. I'm very glad it was successful so that the team can keep making games and making stuff, right? Because I'm sure whatever they put out will be interesting, at least. But yeah, it's not my game of the year. Like, even a little bit, I think.
There's one other game we both played.
What was that?
Scott Pilgrim versus the World, the game, baby.
Right, we did. When's the new one of those supposed to come out?
I don't know.
Let's look into that.
Yeah. Anyway, you gotta do it. You visit Talk This Philly Outpost. You gotta play Talk This versus the World, the game.
Yeah.
Am I bad at that game? This is a beat 'em up where you play as Scott Pilgrim if you haven't
It's
played.
okay. I also feel like I'm bad at that game.
Right?
I have a lot of trouble in that game in a way I feel like I don't with other beat 'em ups like Castle Crashers.
Yeah.
Where I am not like on the horizontal level that the enemy is, but I can't tell that I'm not.
Yeah.
So I spend a lot of time like punching the air, wondering why nothing's happening, and realizing I have to go like a millimeter down before I can punch them. Which might be me being bad.
I know. I feel like I'm dying a lot. Is that a sign I'm good at the game?
The key is to pick the level of the character that's really high level already.
That's right. Exactly.
And then you'll be fine.
Are they gonna make more River City Girls? I played that and I was like, oh, beat 'em up. I like this.
Yeah. I don't know. Maybe.
An arcadey beat 'em up. Obviously, I'll talk about a different kind of beat 'em up soon. Well, I've got 2 and the TV recap. I'll do my like non-update update. I played a little bit more Blueprints. I think 2 a T and Pirate Yakuza in Hawaii, which I'll talk about, kind of ate up my PlayStation gaming time. So I need to get back to this and like traveling too. I fear getting really into it, right? Like it will happen. But did play, I think, another few runs of it. I don't think last time I had realized that you can. I had a run that it was like, oh, it's over, right? Like I can't get through it, and I didn't realize you could run around outside.
Yeah.
I thought I had found something. I was like, oh man, like I thought this is it. There's a secret out here. There wasn't anything. But so that's my Blueprints highlight from the past 6 weeks. I am looking forward into getting into the game. But yeah.
I watched the 2-minute SGDQ Blueprints run.
2 minute?
It's glitched.
Oh, it's glitched. They did a real one too, I think. But
well, they did like a bingo. I haven't watched that yet.
Yeah.
But yes, you can glitch your way to room 46, and they did it in 2 minutes on Summer Games Done Quick, but I think the world record is like 1:30 actually. So
that's crazy. Probably I'll be able to do that.
Yeah, I was watching. There was one. The top comment was like, "Yeah, that's what I'd do."
Okay, I only have my big Yakuza, let's talk about pirates thing left. So, and, Madelyn and Emma whine about The Last of Us. So, go on.
All right, well, I played more 100 Line, Last Defense Academy.
Right.
I did 16 more endings, so I'm at 66 endings out of the current total of 100 so far.
Okay, and I still can't talk about...
Well, what do we think?
You would have to tell me. You send me so much stuff just with very little context.
No, do I think I can talk about like the intro plot now? It's been a while.
This is your warning.
Yeah, okay. This is your warning. First playthrough of 100 Line. Spoilers if you want to go into this game with absolutely nothing spoiled. For some reason, go away. They're going to keep updating it for 10 years, Kuraka says.
Wow.
He wants to just keep adding to it in his spare time. Good for him. There was recently like a 1.1 update that fixed like all the quality of life issues that it had. So I'm glad that I slowed down a little bit so that I can appreciate them. But anyway, I feel like I said this last time, but the general premise is you're Takumi Sumino. You've been drafted into a war. You're protecting something mysterious hidden within the school from invaders who are bent on destroying it and destroying humanity and destroying the earth.
Destruction.
So you've been led to believe, at least. Your commanding officer dies on day 2. So...
Whoops.
You don't get very many answers the first time through, other than what you managed to suss out yourself. And you might wonder, well, do you find out what you're defending in the defense room this whole time? And yes. Near the end, you've become sort of convinced that humanity has sort of abandoned you here, right? They've sent you to die in order to fulfill this mission, essentially. You think that whatever's in the defense room, it's going to wipe out the invader life on this planet. And also you is the belief at this point, right? So you're like, okay, well, we can't get off this planet. The invaders, like, tricked us and said they would send us off, but actually were just trying to kill us, and we fell for it, and we're very upset. But at least we want to know, like, what's in there? What are we doing? You know? And so you go into the defense room. Takumi's been seeing this, like, ghostly apparition of a boy throughout most of the time. And just now he can actually hear what the boy says because his blood powers have leveled up in the most recent battle, right? And the ghostly boy says, yeah, I'm what's in the defense room. This is like something I'm projecting using my blood powers to sort of check on what's going in the school and who these teens are. And he's like, yeah, I'll let you through. And you can see what's in the defense room. You can see what I am. And what he is a baby.
Finally, listener, you don't understand how many baby screenshots Emma sends me all the time.
It's very like Snowpiercer, you know?
Sure.
That was a vague spoiler for Snowpiercer.
Unbelievable that Emma's like, let's Just throw spoilers out there.
But unfortunately, your BFF Ato, really not a humanity fan, and now that he has access to the baby, he's like, I'm just gonna kill this baby and suck up the baby's super blood and become a super blood guy.
That's how it works.
So then you have to fight Ato with a bangin' metal song in the background. There's like 4 different songs smashed together.
Emma loved this song.
Rumble by Pale Dusk. I'm a Pale Dusk fan now. And then at the end of it, Takumi sucks the blood out of Ato, so now he's baby powered up.
Jesus Christ.
And the last vestiges of the baby's blood comes to him and says, you know how you have that like special blood power that allows you to like reset things like a little bit in time when you make a mistake? Takumi's like, yeah. He's like, well, you got my super blood powers now, so if you want to make these 100 days better, theoretically you'd go back all the way and do it again, right? And so with the baby's blood powers, Takumi, all powered up, goes back to the beginning of the 100 days, and that's where like the 100 endings branching comes from, right?
The baby's blood power.
The baby's blood power, which also powers up Takumi's special attack.
Sick.
Some of the timelines involve like the baby and the ghostly apparition that the baby sends out more than others, and so there's a few routes where it's always talking about. Sometimes they call him Ghost Boy, which is more normal, but in some, everybody's found out that he's a baby, and so they start referring to him as the baby.
Yeah.
And it creates some very good out of context quotes that I've been enjoying sending to Madeline without prompting.
I look forward to 36 more.
One decision: kill the baby. Choose.
We've learned that it's bad.
Spoiler alert, killing the baby, maybe not a good idea.
In case you were
I feel like
wondering.
you can probably figure this out from the context when you find this choice. But yeah, killing the
She
baby
still did it.
does not end well. I was doing cleanup because the update sets you like directly before a decision now instead of like in the scene where the decision happens, which is so much smoother. So I could go back and do like endings where I'm like, this isn't gonna go well for Takumi. And really fast and sort of knock them out. That route, the kill the baby route, is probably the first one where I'm like, the one that's like at the end of that route. There's other choices before that where it's like, well, this is obviously the wrong choice. And it's sort of the first route where I felt like the bad endings are like totally pointless. Like this guy like wrote the main route and then was like, oh crap, they assigned me 8 endings.
Ones.
They assigned me 8 endings for this route and I didn't think about it at all. I guess
Whoops.
I'm just tagging some on here. Most of the other ones, even when they're like short, have felt like they had some like thought put into them. In this, there was like 2 where I was like, this is pretty good. Anyway, I got 34 more endings to go for now, and Kodaka at least seems very enthusiastic about continuing to add content to the game, bringing on guests to do routes. There was a Bloomberg interview on like Friday where he like compared it to like Shonen Jump, which the way manga magazines work in Japan is they come out and they have a bunch of different series in it, so you get a chapter of like a bunch of different types of genres. So in this it's like, well, we're offering you like as many genres as you want, right? And you get sort of sampling of all of them through this sort of storytelling framework. So it's kind of cool. And it's not like it's stopping them from making other games. Their next game's coming out in September somehow. So I'm still having a lot of fun with it. They also added like super death die difficulty, which I haven't tried yet, but I am excited to. It doesn't make any sense. It doesn't suit the mechanics of the game at all.
Doesn't sound like it.
I guess since you just have one more, I will also say I played Deltarune chapters 3 and 4.
I bought Deltarune. Same thing.
I had played 1 and 2 before last time we recorded. So 3 and 4 came out like on the 5th or 6th, I think, of June. And I played them pretty quick, although I still have to go back and beat the secret boss of chapter 3. I am very glad that I am not someone who is like lore-brained. You know?
What do you mean by that?
I mean, I like theorizing and I like thinking about things, but like chapter 3 sort of bucks the established formula of chapter 1 and 2 in terms of like how it is set up and especially the way the secret boss works. And people got like kind of upset about this in a way that I found baffling. It's because they like it felt like there are people who are very lore-brained that are like, I've cracked it.
Yeah.
And then when they haven't cracked it, they like get kind of upset.
Yeah.
Like they approach it very logically, I guess. Or it's not even like approaching it logically, but they approach it like they want to win it. Kind of. And when they figure out what's going to happen, they win it. And so I'm glad I'm not like fury-brained like that, I guess.
That makes sense to me.
I played chapters 1 and 2 right before 3 and 4, so I don't have like the years of thinking about it that everybody else does, to be fair. But when chapter 3 was like so radically different from 1 and 2, I was like, that rules.
Yeah.
For me personally. And I think that they're setting up some interesting things. Like we talked a little bit about on my side quest. And just generally, like, playing with the storytelling in interesting ways. So, Chapter 5 is supposed to be coming out next year, and I am quite excited for it. I think it will finally be Festival Day that they've been talking about this whole time. And I'm excited to see what the heck this festival is. I think it's like Halloween, seems to be. So... very exciting stuff.
Spooky Yuki.
But yeah, the secret boss in chapter 3, you have to like get like a special item over the course of the chapter to make it like doable. But my gamer brain, having watched someone do a little bit of it, is like, I can do that without the special item. I can no-hit that.
Yeah.
And so I did try it a few times. And I felt like if I could just, this one attack that if I could just get through, I could no-hit it. But I should probably try it with the item first. And then if my gamer brain is still insisting that I got this, I could go back and try to do it without the item on another save file.
It's like the super hard mode.
Yeah, essentially. But the steps you have to do to get the special item are spooky.
No.
And they scare me.
He's scared.
So that's
Baby
why
gamer brain.
That's part of it. That's why my gamer brain's like, don't do the spooky, scary stuff. Just lock it.
Be really hard. Just lock in.
All right, tell me about pirates.
Yo, I finished Pirate Yakuza in Hawaii.
Good.
Last time I was like in chapter 2 somewhere, which was very long.
Chapter 2, the endless chapter 2.
The endless chapter. I mean, the endless chapter if you play it like we do, which is like, let's do all the side quests here instead of spacing them out. So yeah, Pirate Yakuza in Hawaii is just Yakuza 5. They started saying Yume, Yume, Yume a lot at the end, which is
with
dream.
less than 5 Yakuza.
Less than what?
Less than 5 Yakuza in this version of Yakuza 5.
That's not true. I mean, I guess none of them are Yakuza anymore. So, in that sense,
That's
yes.
Fair. I wasn't even thinking about that. But yeah.
I was like, I don't think that's the case. Yeah. Overall, a successful outing. I agree with you. Pretty lightweight. But yes, it just was like, oh, like once again, let's do a game that's about how all of these old men are ready to lay down their lives for the dream of a young person, right? That's what Yakuza 5 is. Like, literally, Majima and Saejima are like, we're ready to die on the roof of the Millennium Tower for Haruka in that game. So it's just that. I was worried, I mean, sort of similarly to Gaiden, the man who erased his name. The story just does nothing until the final chapter here. Which is in some ways like understands how I'm playing this game. It's a little different from how the main games operate, wherein I feel like you are just destroying the pacing of the story at all times with side quests. I do feel like both of the Gaiden games have been a little bit more like, we know that you're not really paying attention to the main story here for 75% of the game, so why bother for 75% of the game? Which is some, not like the best, but also it worked fine for me. It locked in. It was not that it was so complex or anything at the end, but it locked in. I thought we were gonna kill the dad. We didn't. Spoilers for this game, obviously, right?
Mm-hmm.
But yeah, it was just like, oh, like we're bringing together all of the factions to protect this kid. That's Yakuza 5, baby. Like that's what that game is. So, and the Yakuza 5 is like my second favorite of these. So it worked for me for that perspective. And I love Majima, and the fighting was fun. You're totally right that the boat pirate stuff was kind of eh. I didn't mind it in a numbers go up kind of way, but
my main problem was sailing from place to place.
Yeah, I mean,
and then the sailing activities were all right, but yeah.
Yeah, no, I mean, it was slow for sure, but yeah, it just was like not quite interesting enough. Lot of murder in the big pirate side quest thing.
Yeah,
like a lot of dead people.
We just bring the kids to that. It's
yeah,
fine.
The kids are doing the murder.
The kids are doing the murder.
That girl, the girl character in that gives me hope that maybe one day Haruka can be in the party.
I did think it was very funny when, Jason's other daughter, that's like the queen's assistant, and you like storming this boat, and they're like, go up to her, and she's like, actually, I'm just gonna jump off this boat.
Yeah.
Now.
Yeah.
It's like, okay, Yakuza writers, I get it. We're not allowed to punch a woman.
Right. It's okay.
I thought Majima could finally punch through that glass wall and finally punch a woman.
Alas.
A woman can only punch.
Yes, cannot be punched. That's correct. Was charmed that they remembered to bring back Nishida and the other guy whose name I can't remember, but
Minami.
Minami, I knew it was an M. Yes, that was charming. And charmed that they were like, we were gonna restart Majima Construction. It was good.
He's just got that construction helmet on. He just wears it.
Yeah, well, that's what Nishida does. Like a lot of like charming series callbacks. And then, of course, I would be remiss if I didn't talk about the end. So, first of all, great Ichiban cameos here.
I wasn't sure how I felt about like his "I don't believe you."
No, I loved that.
Like, yeah, what do you mean he doesn't believe him?
I really like that Ichiban and Majima have a different relationship.
I guess, yeah.
Like, if Kiryu came back and said this, he'd be like, absolutely, you are my idol. And I really like that they're like, oh no, like, Ichiban thinks Majima's full of crap. Like,
it was like, I'm coming around to it as I'm thinking about it, but like the fighting a giant squid specifically.
Yeah.
Like, Ichiban also fought a giant squid.
Right, but that's what he says. He's like, surely if there was more than one, like, we'd hear about it. I don't know. I found fair. I found that portion like quite delightful. So I liked that a lot.
Then they do a sick as hell dance.
What?
Then they do a sick as hell dance.
The sick as hell dance, my jaw was on the floor. Folks, you don't understand. They're grooving. Saejima, Stone Cold Killer, not actual killer. Saejima, like, going to town.
Yeah.
Their little drink link was funny, too. They're like, when are you gonna get a girl? Enjoyed that. Yeah, and then the ending was, for the girls.
Yeah.
black snakeskin outfit, sick. That was good. You must have hated it because Kiryu's not going anywhere. But that was another thing that was Yakuza 5. You know, Kiryu in the hospital at the end, and we don't get to see everybody visit Kiryu in that game, or even know if they do. They all get hauled off to prison. So it was a nice for me anyway. It felt like a nice callback to that moment from 13 years ago, where this time they get to go in.
In the same way that I thought the Unknown Gaiden was like emotional, I thought this was emotional. I'm not like mad Kiryu exists.
I know that.
Like,
I didn't mean to say that.
Baffled about what they want to do with him. That's my main feeling towards Kiryu right now.
That is fair. No, I don't know. I was like, oh, like you never gave up on the dream of Kiryu Kazuma? Come on. Come on. That's the stuff. That's good eating right there. That's, Majima's going to find the elixir of eternal life for Kiryu? Heck yeah. I hope they stay away from that.
The real elixir of eternal life.
No, the elixir of living for 150 years.
No, his dad's like 300, I think.
Yeah, maybe.
Rodriguez's dad is like 300 years old.
Yeah.
So not eternal still, but long time.
Yeah. Anyway, as someone who still feels like they need the correct send-off for Kiryu, I'm excited, but yeah, I don't know where we're going.
It feels a little bit like when is the correct send-off for Kiryu coming? Is how I kind of feel about it a little bit. If they keep saying, this is it, this is the Kiryu send-off, and then it's not.
I know, even this game, they were sort of like, oh, we're old now. We gotta have different dreams.
Yeah.
Whatever. Hopefully next game.
We'll see.
I hope they've set up like there's a mystery. There's like a thing we gotta find. And, you know, I know a private detective.
Oh. We'll see.
Telling ya. Judgment 3 cubed. Yakuza 9. The dream lives. The dream lives. I just want them to announce the next one. I know, like, Project Sentry will be cool. Is that what it's called? I don't
Stranger
remember.
Than Heaven is what its official title is.
Okay. Project Sentry. Looks cool, but I want them to announce the next one of these. This one got announced, I guess, in September, because I was traveling. So maybe September.
Yeah, maybe around TGS.
I'm still thinking about where this falls in my ranking, by the way. It's tricky. The story is so insubstantial, although the beats that at the end did really work for me. But once again, sort of this one and 8, I feel like live in a similar limbo for me of like, if 9 really pays off on all of this, then they'll be like pretty upper echelon. If it doesn't, then they will sink. Yeah. Like a boat, like a pirate.
Alright, my last game, I've broken out the 3DS.
Woo!
And I'm playing Shin Megami Tensei 4 Apocalypse, the sequel to Shin Megami Tensei 4, which I played 2 years ago. I really like Shin Megami Tensei, actually, I feel like. It's just cozy. I say like I really like it. I don't actually. I do not rate these games very highly. But they're very cozy to play. You're just kind of like running around, like talking to demons.
Yeah.
Fusing your demons. Just kind of going from place to place when the gods tell you to, or when, you know, people tell you to. Just kind of like drifting from plot event to plot event. It's very cozy.
Yeah.
Anyway, this seems to be a sequel to like the true neutral ending of 4. You play as a different character. So your previous protagonist, who is using his default name Flynn in this, is a separate character. And you are just like a denizen of Tokyo, who is aspiring to be a hunter in order to support the great Flynn, who is here to free you from, you know, the angels and the demons who wish to subjugate you, right? He's humanity's great savior, essentially. But you die.
Whoops.
Whoops. Thankfully, there's this real nice guy named Dagda in the underworld, who says, "Hey, kid, I'll bring you back to life, but you gotta do what I say after that. And you don't really get a choice. If you want to live, then there's not really a choice in the matter.
Yep.
So you're brought back to life, but Dagda lives in your phone, and you kind of have to sort of do what he says you're going to do. And he seems to have like lots of foreign gods, essentially, plotting something that doesn't have to do with the angels or the demons, but something nebulous about salvation that doesn't sound great, honestly.
Good.
Doesn't sound super salvation-y.
I love when my friends have nebulous salvation aspirations.
So we're just kind of like seeing what's going on with that and hoping everything works out. And fusing demons and wearing they have like armor in the 4 and 4 Apocalypse that when you put on it changes your appearance. So I've got a really cool look going on right now. As I usually do.
This is so Emma cozy. It's unbelievable.
I've got a really cool look. In this case, when I said to a T I had cool looks, I meant it. In this, I mean I look stupid.
That's how I define cool for my looks in the real world, just to be
Fair
clear.
enough. Fair enough. Anyway, about 10 hours into it, I love my 3DS. So happy to be back with my 3DS again. Look forward to updates and what's going on with Dagda and the Godslayer next time.
Shall we close with our The Last of Us 2 Part 1 review?
Yeah, it was bad.
Yeah, it was pretty bad. Let Ellie have a zit challenge. Failed.
Yeah, our new stupid complaint after last season's not enough zombies. Enough zombies in this one.
Yes, they
Big
look,
step up.
Part of the problem of this season is that they listen to our feedback too much.
Yeah.
Like, I just want to be clear. Like, they added back more zombies. It doesn't really make sense, but they did.
Yeah. But yeah, our new complaint is everybody is way too clean. They have very nice hair, and they're not sweaty, and somehow they have clean clothes.
It just didn't work.
Yeah.
And some of that is like this part of the source material. Like, it's like just not that much happens.
Yeah.
So like that's hard. Like that's not their fault. Not that much happens. The big thing happens 2 episodes in. And that's like tricky pacing wise. So I respect that there was difficulty. But yeah, it really made clear to me how important it is to the themes of the game that between these beats you are murdering dozens of people.
Yeah.
Like the revenge story, thinking about it, I'm like, oh, like how much is Ellie in this is like so different from in the game. Like she is, but some of it is just like, well, like all of the kind of subtext, like it's hard to play the revenge thing subtle when you don't have the context of like, also we murdered a bunch of people climbing our way here.
Yeah. Yeah, like for what it's worth, the critiques of The Last of Us Part 2, the game, are at least like grappling with something that has substance. Yeah. Right? There's critiques of it because it's trying something.
Yeah.
The show just doesn't feel like it's trying anything.
No.
It just, there's nothing there. It's hard to even critique it because it just feels like there's nothing there to like hold on to, right? So I don't want to just be watching it and be like, why this is worse than the game, right? Because I think that isn't always terribly interesting critique, but like it just on its own merits, I feel like there's nothing there. So I feel like I have to compare it to the game to even like have things to say about it, kind of.
And next season's gonna be even worse.
At least stuff happens in Abby's story.
Yeah, I know, but it's like, who cares? Literally, who cares?
Yeah, I do think there's the keeping the perspective shift in the way the game does it maybe suits like production,
Yeah.
but doesn't suit the storytelling of a TV show.
Your theory that it's that they want to keep Pedro out of season 3, I think, is BS, though. I don't buy that.
That wasn't like the main reason.
I know.
I was wondering whether they put all the Joel flashbacks in that one episode to limit his appearances in season 3. Not like the whole. Man, and the Joel and Ellie stuff was so much worse in the show. Man,
All
it just
the
makes
added
me
stuff
like
was so bad.
baffled.
Okay, here's the biggest critique. Cut the therapist character.
Oh my god, yeah.
Just worse than useless. They were like, you know this story that has really easy to understand themes and where the characters are experiencing emotions that not only are they doing a pretty good job acting, but like even if they weren't, would not be hard to understand. We're gonna introduce a character that's gonna really name all that for you and take up a lot of time doing it.
Yeah, I think like one of my main problems is it's just like by introducing this therapist character so early too, it's like the show is telling me like I don't respect you.
Yeah, it's like I do not trust that you're paying any attention to what's happening.
So even if they were trying to do things subtle down the line, I feel like it's lost that trust in me, right? And so I just feel like it is patronizing me.
It is. Anyway, will we watch season 3? Absolutely.
Yeah.
100%.
Yeah, I mean, I am curious how they do Abby's stuff. The Abby's storyline on its own, for what it's worth, is more suited to a seasons of TV than I think Ellie's first part
Certainly.
is. So that'll at least be interesting to see how they do. It's interesting that the actress playing Abby is so small.
It's a crazy choice.
Because I think it will force them to write things in different ways.
Yeah.
Right? Because a lot of Abby's persona is her physicality in the game, and they do not have that. So it'll be interesting to see what character comes out of following this plot with a very diminutive actress.
Well, Neil's washed his hands of it, so.
Yeah. Pedro Pascal asked him, "Do you like art?" And he had to leave. It's too devastating.
Did you see the Pedro Pascal lie detector where he's like, where they ask him like, do you think you're a heartthrob?
No.
Yeah. And then they ask him, he's like, no, and they're like, that's a lie. And then they ask him, do you ever look at Instagram fan accounts of yourself? And he's like, yeah, when I'm sad.
I will miss soft Joel.
Yeah, I know. It didn't do the overall story any favors, but you know, Pedro Pascal.
Yeah, I think ultimately they did not make enough changes to part 2, for it to follow from the changes they had made to part 1.
That's right.
But yeah, see you in a couple years or so, I guess.
Where there will be a medium amount of zombies.
Yeah. Just right. Goldilocks amount of zombies.
Yeah. Well, listeners, do you have friends who are looking for salvation? Do you feel a sense of dread starting this podcast every time knowing it will start with the Reverie Report? When did you learn? How old were you when you learned how to connect a Bluetooth controller to your phone? And tell me it was older than me. If you have thoughts about this or anything else we talked about this week, hit us up on social media. We're on Facebook, Blue Sky, Instagram, and YouTube at Talk This Podcast. You can also visit our website, www.talkthispodcast.com, where you can read all about the show, check out the games in the hat, and read our blog. But most importantly, if you enjoy the show, you ought to subscribe. We're on Apple Podcasts, YouTube Podcasts, TuneIn, Spotify, Pandora Podcast, online and on the app, Overcast, Pocket Casts, wherever you can find podcasts. Subscribe to Talk This.
Next week, we're talking about Her Story and Split Fiction.
Oh, right. And I was like, oh, couldn't that wait? And then that's fine. So look forward to that. Look forward to me talking about something in 2 weeks. Who knows? And then more games, and then Emma, and then more games, and then another 6-week episode where I go, wow, it's been 6 weeks. Who would have thought?
Yeah.
So that's it for this week's show. Emma, sign us off.
This week, I hope that you know that you are the perfect shape. Woof, woof, woof.